Hey, hey, hey! Guess what? It's still Royals season, baby! That's right! The Royals are gonna go to the playoffs. Okay, I hope I just didn't seriously jinx it because there's still a whole month of baseball to go and they could. I swear, if the Royals don't make it to the playoffs now, this whole city is gonna have a heart attack. We might have a lot of funerals to go to because everyone's so psyched up right now. And to blow this, when usually September is the Royals' year to always do better, they seem to always win a lot more games in September. We have to make the playoffs. I'm so excited. This is fun to be a baseball fan again. I'm always a baseball fan, but it's just fun to say, oh, we got a great team for next year. Next year, man, it's gonna be so fun. Because right now it's still fun. All right, that was a minute of baseball talk. Let's get to the football side. That was a great draft, guys. I had a great time. I always have a great time. Fantasy football drafts are the funnest time of year. I couldn't even sleep. It was like a kid on Christmas Eve when they wake up and run down the stairs or whatever and look at the presents. Okay, well, I literally couldn't sleep the first day. I woke up constantly throughout the night going, is it time? Is it time? Okay. Anyway, that was me. I'm a little kid at fantasy football. Okay. Um, so anyway, I have my little review sheet. Well, actually rankings. Because really, there wasn't a lot. The draft went pretty smooth, I thought. There was only a few bids that I thought got steals and a few that went more than I thought, or whatever. But that was cool. I thought the draft did really well at the pizza place. We might do it at Minsky's next year, or we might try the same place if they allow it. Um, so anyway, here's a few things, and yeah, two of them are from my team. Because one, I really didn't want these guys, Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch. I really didn't want them because one, I was thought they were going to go for too high, and I didn't plan on spending over $45 on the running back. But I guess I'm glad I did. I got Adrian Peterson for 48, which I don't know if you know this, but Eddie Lacy, Matt Forte, Jamal Charles, LaShawn McCoy, and I think there was one other. I can't find it, but they all went for $50 or more. So I'm thinking I got a good deal then. And Marshawn Lynch for 41. I was trying to just bid him up to hopefully he'd go for 46, and I got stuck with him at 41. So I think that's a good deal. Um, Shane Vereen, I can't remember who got Shane Vereen, but I think $21 is whoever got him. $21 for Shane Vereen. I think that's a really good deal. I think Vereen should be worth at least 30 to 35 easily, the way he's going to be playing this year. Um, Receivers, I know he's a rookie, but Sammy Watkins for $4, I think's a steal. He's going to be the go-to guy there. I think he should have gone for at least 15, if not 20. Well, okay, maybe not 20, but at least 15. Emmanuel Sanders, at during the draft, $9, still a little low. I thought maybe he'd go for 12, but no, maybe 11. But now this Wes Welker debacle, Emmanuel Sanders would go for probably 16 now, I would think. So Emmanuel Sanders, steal. And Brandon Marshall was the only thing. Not that there was an overpay, but $42 for Brandon Marshall, which don't get me wrong, Brandon Marshall is a stud. But I was thinking like 35 to 37, so that's like $5 more. Other than that, I thought every player pretty much went right around where they should have went. All right, so here's my rankings. Now remember, I'm not going to go who's 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm just going to group you guys, top four, middle four, last four, in any order. And I'm just going to I got them all categorized. I just don't know who's, the best. So let's start with the bottom. I mean, I have to do it. I just like putting you at the bottom sometimes. Robert Keon. You're at the bottom, buddy. Now, you may ask, well, what the heck, why? Well, you got Arian Foster as your main running back, and he might last 2 or 3 weeks, and you didn't get his backup. Now, if you would have got Grimes, maybe I'd have you a little higher, but you didn't get his backup, so you're stuck with him, and you really have no other running back. You got Pierre Thomas as your next best running back, I think. Yeah, that's it. Yes, you got 3 awesome receivers: Demarius, Pierre, and Dez. But you still need running backs. At least 2. You don't have 2. Uh, tight end, Kyle Rudolph will do good. So, whatever. Your defense is going to not be as good either. Packers' defense isn't going to be as awesome as you think. So you're at the bottom of the group with the guys of Mark Winslow. Yes, Mark, I'm sorry. Colin Kaepernick, I think, is going to struggle. So you're going to be starting Phillip Rivers a lot, which is good. I think Phillip Rivers is going to be great. But you're having a running back issue too. FYI, I love running backs. I think you need at least 2 if you're going to go with wide receivers. You got to need at least 2 running backs, decent ones. And Mark, Steven Jackson is just like Arian Foster. When's he going to pull his hamstring, right? Well, you didn't get his backup either. And then you got Ryan Matthews. He will be a stud, but like I said, you got 1.5 running backs really. And your receivers are awesome. Demaryius Thomas, Alshon Jeffries, Calvin Johnson. Do you really have that many receivers? Demaryius? You don't have Demaryius. I was reading DeAnthony Thomas. You have Alshon Jeffries, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, and a possible Josh Gordon, maybe, eventually. And an awesome defense, Seattle's defense. And Jordan Reed before he gets a concussion. So don't get me wrong, that's awesome, but you don't have the flex. Well, you got the 3 receivers, but you don't have the running back. So you'll be good for, 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and then you'll tank. So you might want to make some trades soon. All right. David Carroll. Aloha. And I'm trying to find you. There you are. You're kind of borderline. So obviously I'm kind of saying that you're not like the very bottom. You're like borderline middle to the bottom, and I had to put you somewhere, so I had to put you at the bottom like group. Sorry. Okay. Because I love Peyton Manning. Who doesn't love Peyton Manning? But I don't like Reggie Bush this year because they got like 3 or 4 running backs. I think they're going to really rotate around the running backs like crazy. So that's it. You got Rashad Jennings. I think Rashad will be good. And Darren Sproles, I think you might end up playing a lot more because I think Sproles will be like a good utility guy. Fitzgerald, Kelvin Benjamin. Oh, that's right. You're the one that got Wes Welker. He probably will play this year, but I think they're going to really tighten the grips on Wes Welker. And one more. If he does play again, his concussion, he's going to be done. Come on. And obviously you got Gronkowski, who's going to be a stud. So anyway, I just think you're missing 1 spot, maybe 2 spots. So sorry. Jimmy Masters, you're going to suck this year. You know why? Because you're going to be way too busy having a baby, work, new job, new location. You're going to suck this year. I'm just sorry. That's plain simple because your life outside of football is just going to be... I just hope you can get through it. It's going to be one crazy... It's going to be... draft. You know what you're going to be doing? You're going to be like, holy cow, we're drafting again already? Is it time for the draft? That's how fast this whole year is going to go for you. You're going to blink, and it's going to be, holy cow, my daughter's 1. Or son. Son, not daughter. Is it a son or daughter? I don't even know what you're having. I can't remember, but I said daughter, so does that mean you're having a daughter? I don't know. I think I'm used to Mark Winslow, because he just pops out girls all the time. Whatever. Anyway, but I do have you at the bottom group, too, because I like Cutler. Not a lot of people do, but I like Cutler. But you got Doug Martin and C.J. Spiller, which I like Doug Martin now. I wasn't a fan of Doug Martin, but now that they're losing a lot of running backs from injury, I'm starting to like Doug Martin again. But I don't like C.J. Spiller because, A, he's going to get hurt, possibly. B, how are they going to use him? Are they going to use him full-time, half-time, part-time, what? Your receivers aren't too shabby. Randall Cobb, and Brandon Marshall. Oh, you're the one that paid $42 for Brandon Marshall. That's right. And you got Julius Thomas. But I think you're missing a flex player. Yeah. I think you're missing a flex. Because Torrey Smith, I don't know why, but him and Flacco had just never been awesome together. You know, they've been okay together, but they've just never been awesome. So you guys are in the bottom four. The middle four, let's go a little faster, please, because we should give more time to the top four. Adam Gilkison, you're in the middle group. I don't know why. Oh, yeah. Adam, I like and dislike your theory of spending all your money on the studs, but the studs this year that you got, Jamal Charles, doesn't have an offensive line. Hopefully Jamal can outrun the offensive line, really, and get around the defense before they get to him. LaShawn McCoy, he's already supposedly battling possibly turf toe. And I've seen running backs deal with turf toe, and they suck. So have fun with that. Cam Newton's already battling a rib injury, which might hinder him a little bit for a while. And I don't really like Joe Flacco. Your receivers, Kendall Wright will be pretty good. Crabtree will be pretty good. They got to throw to Miles Austin, right? Maybe, or until he gets hurt. Cecil Shorts will be okay. Oh, yeah, you got Jimmy Graham. He will be awesome. But like I said, I just think you risked it all on two guys that might not do, your two running backs might not do too hot, and you don't have any other running backs. You got Tolbert, and that's it. Sorry. The champion is going to be in the toilet bowl. Mark my word. Corey Klugman. Oh, shoot, that's me. I'm in your group too, buddy. I like my quarterbacks, Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson. I love my running backs, Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, Ray Rice with his handcuff, and Bishop Stanky with his handcuff, and a possible Terrence West maybe. But obviously, I only have one receiver, Percy Harvin, and that's it. Literally, that's it. I mean, Brian Hartline might be a nice little... He would be a good flex, but he's going to be my starting receiver. And then my tight end, Greg Olsen, or Jason Morrow, who's going to be good. But I got Greg Olsen. And I like my defense and all that. So anyway, I'm missing a wide receiver. So I have running backs. Some people have too many receivers. Maybe we should get together and work something out. But I have me in the middle. Because I'm not going to put me in the bottom. I'm too good for that. All right. Travis Weirs. You're in the middle with me, buddy. I like your quarterbacks also, but I don't like your running backs. But I know your theory. I look at your team year after year. I totally get your strategy. You get receivers, and then you like the running backs that get receptions. Joy Bell, Fred Jackson, he gets those receptions too, plus he gets touchdowns. But I'm just not impressed with your running backs. And that's all you got. Oh, you got Eddie Lacy. Oh, duh. Okay, I'm wrong. You don't get... Eddie Lacy's a bruiser. But your receivers are good. I mean, they're not bad. Eric Deckers, Antonio Brown, Julian Edelman, Reggie Wayne, Roddy White. I mean, you got a lot of wide receivers. You can trade me one, maybe. So, I just think you're like with me. You're kind of in the middle. Who else is in the middle? Is that everyone? Oh, no. I got one more. That would be Mike O'Reilly. Mike O'Reilly. Mike O'Reilly. Mike O'Reilly. Mike O'Reilly. Drew Brees, stud. Bell, I don't know now. Ever since they brought in LeGarrette Blount, I've been really down on Bell because I personally think the Patriots should not have let go of Blount. I think Blount's a good smash-mouth running back. So you got Bell and Forte and Mark Ingram, who could be really good, and Jonathan Stewart will be good until he gets hurt again. But T.Y. Hilton, Deshaun Jackson, Emmanuel Sanders. Nice grab on Emmanuel Sanders. And Golden Tate. And Sammy Watkins. You also have a lot of depth at wide receiver, and I hate having too much depth at wide receiver. Why? Because then every week you're like, crap, which 3 receivers do I play? I got 6 of them that are really good. I hate that. So, you got a lot of wide receivers and not enough running backs. Well, you got 2. And maybe a 3rd. Don't get me wrong, your team's better than mine, okay? You got a lot better team than me, probably. So, and I like the Rams defense. But you're in the middle of the pack with me. Let's go to the top 4. If you haven't heard your name called, you're in the top 4. Let's start with Josh Cox, Cobra Kai. Matt Stafford, awesome. Moneyball, cool. And you got Jonathan Grimes, who will probably end up starting eventually. Jones Drew looks pretty. I think he's going to have a really big bounce back year. Shane Vereen's going to be a stud as long as he's healthy. He'll be a stud. Then you got A.J. Green, Cordarrelle Patterson, and a stud sleeper, Brandon Cooks, and Dwayne Bowe. People are down on Dwayne Bowe, big time. But you know what? He's the only guy they're really going to throw it to. So Dwayne Bowe should get like 5 minimum catches a game. Should. Up to 7. He was not going to do the 100-yard thing, but he's going to be like the Chris Carter kind of guy. Gets a lot of catches for short yards, maybe touchdowns too. And then you got Dennis Pitta and the Niners D. I like your team, okay? That's just me. Next up, I have Craig Davina. Sick of always having you in the top. I mean, sometimes it's like, what, do I have a man crush on you or something? Jeez. But I do. The only question on your team I don't like is Tony Romo. But Romo's always been good for me, and it was hard for me to say goodbye to Tony Romo. It's kind of like I felt like Bill Belichick. You know, you've been on the team long enough. It's time to just say you've had your time here. Goodbye. But I still love Tony Romo, and you got him, and you got Giovanni Bernard, who I think is going to be stellar, and you got his handcuff. You got Toby Garrett, who I think is going to be, but he's still a starter. You got Zach Stacy, who I don't know what's going on with Zach Stacy. So at this point in time, Zach Stacy is supposed to be the stud. That's why you're in the top. Come 2 weeks from now, if they put Benny Cunningham or Trey Mason in instead, yeah, your team won't be in the top. But your receivers are good. You got Victor Cruz, Michael Floyd, Andre Johnson. And Ruben Randall. I like those receivers. I think they'll be very steadily good. You know, I look at your team more. Maybe you shouldn't have been in the middle. Maybe you should have been in the middle, and I think Mike O'Reilly's team should be in the top. You know what? I'm marking this down. Let's do that. Craig, I don't have a man crush on you. You're in the middle now with me. So, yeah, I do have a man crush. I want you with me. Craig Davina in the middle. Mike O'Reilly is now in the top. Mike O'Reilly, you're in the top 4 in my book. Okay? All right, now they got that settled. Let's go on to the next team. Oh, this is going to be... You haven't heard these two guys' names in the top 4, I don't think, before. Let's do it. Steve Harlan! Come on down. Steve, I like your team. Aaron Rodgers. Now, yes, Frank Gore is iffy, but every year we've been saying Frank Gore is iffy. I mean, like for the last 3 or 4 years, everyone's like, Frank Gore, he's at the end of his career. And every year Frank Gore tears it up. Is this the year Frank Gore does suck? Who knows? But at this point, I think Frank Gore is a stud. And you got Noshawn Marino. I'm joking, he sucks. He's going to get hurt. But you got Alfred Morris, who's a bruiser, and he'll average you 15 to 18 points a game. Chris Johnson is a question mark. But Chris Johnson is a starter, and Chris Johnson will get the carries. So, that's good. He could be a flex or just a backup because you got Keenan Allen, stud. I like Anquan Bolden. And Mike Wallace and Jeremy Maclin. And if you notice, Tannehill and Mike Wallace are finally starting to get a little groove together. And you got Vernon Davis. And you're doing what I kind of want to do. A team that you think is going to be a high-octane offense, get a lot of those players. You got Gore, Bolden, and Vernon Davis. I admire you for doing that. Because I can't. I tried once, and I couldn't get the guys I wanted. But I think, and you got the Panthers defense. So, I like your team a lot. That leaves me, what? That leaves me with who? Tom Willenborg in the top 4? Yes, I know. Nick Foles, I think, is going to have a good year. He might not have a stellar, great year, but I think he's going to throw for about 4,000 yards easily. So you got Nick Foles. You got Andre Ellington, who's going to be a beast. DeMarco Murray, who's going to be a beast. Trent Richardson, who's going to suck, but he's another running back at least. D'Angelo Williams, who's going to suck, but he's another running back. Just, those two guys to back up and replaced for bye weeks. But you got Vincent Jackson and Jordy Nelson, who are going to be studs. You got Mike Evans, which I didn't even realize he's on the same team as Vincent Jackson. So that might want to trade him, or he's just a handcuff. I don't know. Riley Cooper will be pretty good. But I still like your team. And Colston. I like Marquise Colston because Drew Brees likes Marquise Colston. And what Drew Brees likes, I like. So, that's that. And that's what I got for you guys. I don't know if Tom is going to be the overall number one because I personally like Steve's team better. So, I'm just saying I just didn't rank them top 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, I probably talked your ear off by now. Have a great season. And I would love for you to post if you actually listen to this entire video from start to finish, because I would laugh, because there's no way I would listen to myself for 20 minutes. So have a good year.